Hello, scholars, and welcome to this week's virtual Sunday School. Our lesson title is The People Sin Against God. Sunday School Lesson 9, Fall Quarter. Our lesson comes from Exodus 32, verses 1 through 14, November 1st, 2020. And today's song, God's Love is So Wonderful. 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 Oh, wonderful love. So wide, you can't get around it. So wide, you can't get around it. So wide, you can't get around it. Oh, wonderful love. And our prayer, repeat after me. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Our golden text, repeat after me. And they that know thy name will put their trust in thee. For thou, Lord, hast not forsaken them that seek thee. Psalm 9 and 10. This week's lesson talk. When Moses went up to Mount Sinai to get the 10 Commandments from God, he was gone a long time. Moses had been on Mount Sinai for 40 days and nights, and the people below began to wonder if he would ever come back. They were becoming very impatient, not wanting to wait for him any longer. So they went to Aaron and told him to make them a new god, saying, "We don't know what has happened to Moses. Let's make gods to lead us." So Aaron listened to the people and created an idol for them out of melted jewelry of gold. This gold was shaped into a calf. This made the people happy, and they said, "These are our gods who brought us up out of Egypt." In other words, they were now giving credit to this idol god or representation of God for rescuing them out of Egypt instead of the true and living God who had done it. This made God angry. We must worship God the way he has commanded. They were breaking the commandment that we should have no other gods before him, and we should not worship any graven image. God is a spirit, and we must worship him in spirit and in truth. We can't choose to worship God in just any way. We must do it his way. And Aaron announced to the people that they would have a celebration the next day. They would have a feast for the Lord, but not in the way God was pleased with. Early the next day, people sacrificed burnt offerings. They ate, drank, and made lots of noise worshiping the golden calf. They were still trying to worship the true God, but they were following the ways of the other nations to do it. So God was not pleased. Meanwhile, Moses, who was still high on Mount Sinai, was told by God to go back down the mountain. "Go down immediately. The people I brought out of Egypt have become rotten. They have already turned away from my commandments. They have made a golden calf and have made sacrifices and worshipped it. Leave now so I can destroy them, but I will still make you a great nation." God was so upset by their disobedience, he told Moses he wanted to destroy them, even though God still wanted to make a great nation out of Moses. Moses thought about more than himself, though. He knew God's promise. God had promised Abraham, Isaac, and Israel that he would make them a great nation. So Moses prayed for the people and pleaded with God to not destroy them. God keeps his promises. Moses did the right thing by praying for the people. He was not selfish. And as a result, God heard his prayer and God did not destroy the people. Moses passed the test. He prayed for God to have mercy on the children of Israel, and God did just that. Even though the Israelites probably deserved to be destroyed, God showed mercy and did not kill them. God keeps his promises. So what can we learn from this lesson? Well, number one, we learn to wait on God. Wait on God. The people of Israel got tired of waiting, but God's timing is not like ours. His is perfect. He knows exactly what we need when we need it. We must learn to be patient and wait, and then we can enjoy the blessings of God. Being impatient can cause us to sin by moving out of God's will. Number two, obey God. We must live and do things as God commands. We must obey all of his words. Sin and worshiping idols separates us from God. We must worship God the way he commands us to do it. 3, pray for others. We all need the mercy of God. We should not pray for just ourselves, but we must pray for others too. And number 4, God keeps his promises. God doesn't leave us. Our behavior doesn't change who God is, nor does it change his love for us. If he said he'll do something, he will do just that. And our review questions. Please be sure to complete the questions in your book too. Number 1, why were the children of Israel becoming impatient? Number 2, what did they want Aaron to do? Number 3, why was God not pleased with them worshiping the golden calf? 4, what punishment was God going to do to the Israelites? And number 5, what caused God to not punish the children of Israel? And our golden text, let's say it together. And they that know thy name will put their trust in thee. For thou, Lord, hast not forsaken them that seek thee. Psalm 9 and 10. So don't forget that if we seek the Lord, he will not leave us. Have a blessed week.